We have more now on U.S. President Donald Trump's claim of a breakthrough peace agreement with Hamas. The senior Hamas official is making it clear that Israel will have to meet conditions for the deal to go forward. We're still waiting to hear from the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu was just in the Oval Office on Tuesday, but that meeting was reportedly focused on the war with Iran. Well, there's also no statement from Hamas leadership. A senior Hamas official tells Al Jazeera that the deal is a comprehensive package that includes the complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. The official adds that the militant group won't hand over its heavy weapons to Israel. We're joined now by former Canadian ambassador to Israel, Jon Allen. Thanks so much for joining us, sir.
My pleasure.
There are, I think it's fair to say, more questions than answers at this stage. We really only have the U.S. president's say-so that this deal exists. What's your reaction?
I'm highly skeptical about the deal. It sounds to me a lot like what was negotiated with Iran over the ceasefire regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Lots of promises by the president, but a lot of controversy about what exactly is going to happen. As the High Representative of the Board of Peace said, the agreement is fine, but what comes next is more important. It's not clear, as you suggested, whether Hamas will begin disarming before Israel withdraws, whether it withdraws from where it is now back to the yellow line, which is where this all started, exactly which arms Hamas is prepared to give up. It's all quite unclear, and the timeline also looks a bit like the Iran deal in the sense that we're told the process, the exact timing will be worked out in the next 14 days, but then it's going to take somewhere between 200 and 350 days for the process to be concluded.
So a long timeline for sure. Let's talk about one of the key, at least as it's been outlined by the U.S. president, provisions of all of this, the disarming of Hamas and what weapons they give up and who they give them up to. Can you talk a bit about that in terms of what their actual willingness might be or the realistic nature of that suggestion?
Well, various reporting and various interpretations of the agreement are out there right now. As your reporting has suggested, Hamas is saying that they will only give up certain arms. It's not clear whether they intend to retain small arms and what that definition of small arms is. Hamas spokespersons have suggested they want to retain AK-47s and give up heavy weapons and their tunnels. Israel spokespersons, leaks have suggested that they have to completely disarm. Hamas has said none of these arms can go to Israel. They have to be retained by the Board of Peace. So once again, quite a bit of confusion about the nature of the disarmament and, as we said, the timing of it.
Okay, so nature, timing. What about specifics in terms of, from your point of view and your experience, are there elements that would have to be in this or would have to be agreed to, presumably by Israel, for Hamas to allow this to go forward in any form?
Well, at a minimum, Israel is going to have to begin by moving from where they are now, which is about 70% control of the Gaza Strip, back to, as I said, the yellow line, about 53%. And then what I think should happen is disarming, withdrawal, etc. And what Israel is saying is, and what they've said from the beginning, they will not withdraw until Hamas is totally disarmed. And Hamas has said, we will not disarm until Israel withdraws and stops all of the firing. As we know, almost 1,000 Palestinians, probably 250 Hamas, and 750 civilians have been killed since the ceasefire. And Hamas is looking for a return to a real ceasefire. And Israel is looking, as I said, to full disarmament by Hamas.
Let's look at the potential role of the international community, and I guess there's two ways of asking that question. One, the Board of Peace that Donald Trump credits with reaching this deal, and what ongoing control or assistance they could provide, and also the larger international community. You can talk about what others could do to help this process move forward.
Well, there is, of course, provisions for an international stabilization force in the 20-point agreement. And there's an indication that some 200 troops, some from Morocco and others from Africa, could come into a small portion around Rafah in the southern part of the Gaza Strip. That's contemplated by this. There's also a technical committee that has been sitting in Egypt. These are made up of apolitical Gazans who are experts in food distribution, reconstruction, water, environment, etc., that were supposed to come in and begin to govern on a daily basis in Gaza. So both of those groups are waiting to come in. The technical committee has said that they won't come in until Israel begins its withdrawal and some disarming has taken place. There is a suggestion that the stabilization force, these 200, may enter, but I haven't seen any details on when that's going to take place.
One final quick question, if I could, sir. What are you going to be watching for, even today, but certainly in the coming days, that would either confirm or challenge the president's statements that this is a deal and it is realistic?
Well, I think we have to hear not just leaks from the Israelis. We have to hear either from the Prime Minister or from the Minister of Defense or the Foreign Minister as to their interpretation. We've heard now the spokesman from Hamas, who has made clear what their position is. If the Israelis say no withdrawal by them until full disarmament, then we're back to exactly where we have been since the day that the 20-point plan was agreed.
Former Canadian Ambassador to Israel, Jon Allen, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.